Okay, you feeling nervous?
Yes.
You'll be right. There she goes, off into the sunrise to start her course. Will she get her P's? We'll have to check back later and find out. Just come down to the foreshore at Newcastle on the south side of the river. Oh, what a hive of activity. Dog walking, people running, push biking, all sorts. Oh, lots of surfers. It's a real hive of activity. No parking, the place is chockers. So I've parked illegally. Had a bit of a sit, bit of a cuppa. Nice. Cool breeze, but nice spot. Well, we will see how she goes today. Let's hope. Alright guys, I've just pulled up at the wheel skills training course. Wendy's over there with another lady. The two of them have done the course together. And I just saw her walking away from her bike and she sort of looked at me with her thumbs down and shaking her head. So I don't know what the hell that means. I'm hoping that doesn't mean she hasn't passed the course. I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, it's okay that she hasn't passed. That's no problem. It's just that we've invested quite a bit to get down here and get it done. And it means having to do it all again. That's the part that's a bit annoying. So I hope I misinterpreted what she indicated, but I don't think I did, because a thumbs down and a shake of the head doesn't sound good. Stay tuned, I'll get back to you. Well, bad news, chaps. She did not pass. I tell you what. Not happy, Jan. Not happy. Anyway, we're going to go back to the hotel and try and work out what we're going to do. It's booked in for next Monday. Sorry, I'm a little bit gobsmacked. I am a little bit gobsmacked. The two girls that just did that course were both failed. One for not... Oh, look, I can't even talk at the moment. I'm too angry. I'll get back to you.
Hi guys. Well, I've had a bitter pill to swallow. So I'm here to tell you all about it. It is the day after going for my provisionals. And the bitter pill, of course, is that I didn't get them. So I'm going to walk you through that. I'm a bit annoyed at myself, but I'm also annoyed at the bureaucracy, if I can say that. And I'm sure the other lady, Sandra, is also. There were the two of us. Arrived early, did all the right things, which was all great. The man that was taking us on the day, he was a little bit concerned that my licence didn't have a CX or an X or something, I'm not sure, because I did the learners on a two-wheeler and he thought that I had to do the learners on a trike. Had to make calls to wheel skills, but anyway, all of that is good. So if you've got your learners on a scooter or a motorbike, you're fine. Not to worry about that. So we started the course. There was theory, They check your licence, they check a lot of things, your registration, have all that with you. Fortunately, it's on your phone if you have the New South Wales service app. So a lot of it we went over with what we did in our Ls, your safety, no speeding, etc, etc. So there was a fair bit of theory and it was all straightforward, and that was good, you know, a bit of a chat back and forth. And then we went out onto the actual course, and he used my trike as the demo. He was 6'10", so it was a bit uncomfortable for him. Showed us what to do, so we were just going around and round and going, you know, going wide, coming in tight, and a lot of that sort of stuff. Cone, we did a bit of cone work. Now, everything is set up for a motorbike, not for a trike. When they put the cones out, I'm pretty sure they put the cones out at the same distance. Now, for anyone that's going to do this, don't be put off by this, but just take note. When you do your cone work, it's a bit hard, especially if you're not muscly. You've got to remember to turn tight as soon as your front wheel hits level with those cones. I did take out some. Bearing in mind, so did the instructor, and he took out more than a couple. So I think it was probably a bit challenging for him as well. We practiced that. We also practiced getting up to the 20 k's over a short distance, and then when your wheels hit a certain spot, you put the brakes on, and making sure you can do that reasonably. We also did getting up to pace, swerving around a half tennis ball, making sure you miss the half tennis ball. So we did all that. All was good. And then we went out into the streets. Now it was pretty hard for me and Sandra in the sense that there was the two of us and there was him, and we followed him. So what you do, you go to a spot, you pull over, you assess, you talk, and then you just keep doing that for up to an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours maybe. It can be fairly hot too, actually, but there was only the two of us, and we're not from here. So what he was saying, he'd say, now go up this road, and then you come to a street, and then you do a left, and then you do a right. Well, the pair of us, I mean, I'm not great at directions. I'm really not. Tom will tell you that. He actually took us somewhere, and we followed him, and then he was saying now, you know, he'll follow us. But fortunately, Sandra said, well, we're not from here, you know, and in the end he did say, well, do you want to follow me? I think he had enough faith in us as riders. So we did follow him. A lot of that was about buffering, a hell of a lot of talk on buffering, which is always keeping a distance from a car. Look, it was fine. It was a cinch. It was just really, really easy. And at the very end, Sandra knew where to go, and so he did follow us. So that was all fine. And he didn't have a problem with us riding. So basically the everyday stuff was good. It was fine. Then after lunch, we went back out and we did some practice on some more things. Actually, that may have been the cones then. I can't even remember now. But then you have an afternoon tea break, and then they come out with the pads and then whatever, and it's your assessment on what they call MOST, which I've forgotten again what that means, but you can look it up. It's virtually your
motorcycle obstacle.
No, skills test. Look, it is what it is. We have to do it. We don't have to agree with it. We have to respect it, because unless you live remote, there's no other way around it. And I wasn't happy. So Sandra went first. Now, we were told. So he says, he walks you through the course, which is fine, but by the time he's finished walking you through, you're thinking, oh, what do I have to do? You're nervous. You know, I hope I don't go to the wrong spot. I hope I don't do this. So by the time that's all done, you're feeling a little bit anxious. But then once you've completed the first, one little bit, I think he will stop and he'll tell you again what to do. So, you know, I won't be too harsh on that. But one of the rules, and I'm gathering it was an instant failure, was failure to follow instructions. Now, Sandra went first, and you had to put your left wheel in a right angle. You had to do a left-hand turn, but you had to keep your left wheel in a right angle, so to speak. Then you had to come back, and then you had to do the cone work. Then there was a little bit of fuss after Sandra did that, and it turns out you approached from the left and not from the right. Sandra approached from the right, and she was an instant fail because she didn't follow instructions. What more can I say? I suppose for me, you know, I knew, oh gosh, approach from the left, but naturally she was gutted. I was gutted for her, and I was very, very anxious after that. So come my turn, and all was good. I followed the instructions as best as I could. I was anxious at that stage. I kept my left wheel in the 90 degree. I came back and did the cone work. I did take out one cone at the very end, minimal points.
Lost.
Yeah, that's points off your...
They can't hear me.
Yeah, minimal points lost, sorry. So, look, I'm starting to forget at the moment, but there's also putting your left wheel in a box. You don't get practice for any of that, by the way. You then have to go to the back, and because it's a Ryker, you're allowed to do a 3-point turn into a certain area. Motorbikes, you don't need to, but Rykers you do. So, you know, you're allowed to do that. You then also have to do a U-turn, but once again, a Ryker will not do it, so you're allowed to once again do a 3-point turn into like a great big half rectangle. Now, I tipped the yellow line in that rectangle. I did not go over the yellow line, I tipped the yellow line. I knew I did it, but I thought, well, just keep going, keep going. Then I think towards the end it was you go to the end and then you do the speed, up to the speed, avoiding the half tennis ball and then braking, and I failed because I lost points on the cone. I tipped the yellow line, and then this is where I am fully to blame. I didn't do the head check at the very end. I did it all the way through the day, but at the very end, I didn't go like this. Even though there's a fence behind me, you still have to do the head check. The head check is really, really important. So I failed. No second chances. I'm not saying that's the instructor. But I'm wondering if some people might give you a second chance. I'm not sure. I won't go into that. The one thing I will say, it was a tough pill to swallow, knowing that you did very well out on the road all day. Also, I rode down here. Tom has every confidence in me riding. I'm riding around in a totally unfamiliar, busy city.
Which you passed.
Which I did pass. So, I feel as though they should take that more into account, and that should go towards points. Not tipping a yellow line, not just having to fail. You know very well that when you're out in traffic, you do a mirror and a head check. You just do. Because you're not in traffic and you know you've got this wire fence behind you, but once again, my fault, totally my fault. But that tipped me over with the points. So then he said, oh, you can sit it again, $65 only. You come back and you just do that part. That's all you have to do, which is really the toughest part because it's a skills test. So we were in the situation that there was a booking for next Monday, which Sandra took, and whether to go home and come back again, or I just give up altogether and come back early next year. But I thought, no, we worked it out that I could stay. We just needed some extra clothes. We need a laundromat. It's costly for us. It's accommodation and everything else, it's costly. We're self-funded retirees, so, not easy, but that was our choice. So I'm booked in for 2:30 next Monday. I'll be very, very anxious, so I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, that'll be a cinch on Monday, because it's not. It's a skills test. You tip a yellow line and you're in trouble. I will say also go to the Wheel Skills website, and the actual test, I think it's about a 6-minute video of a fellow doing his test, is on there. Watch it. If you know you're going for your provisionals, watch it. It's on a motorbike. There's nothing about a trike, but do your best. Watch it. Take everything in that I've just said, and remember, don't be put off by it. You will get there in the end, as I know I will. Okay? We're just going to enjoy Newcastle for a few days. Which we're doing right now because we're near the beach. Thanks, guys.